Dearly beloved in Christ, peace and joy. My name is Father January, and I welcome all of you to Father January YouTube channel. We are still looking at growing my faith, and we've started a new episode. In fact, this is going to be the first series of the episode, Emotions Under Control. Now, the purpose of this episode or this series is to help us manage our emotions, is to help us keep our emotions under control. This is something we all need in our daily life because emotions are part of us. But it is good to know how to manage these emotions, because if we do not, it can destroy our life, it can destroy our relationship, and it can destroy so many things that we wish to do or we wish to have. And so it is very, very important. And so as we begin this series, please, I want you to like this video. If this is your first time, if you are watching Father January for the first time, please subscribe to this channel because it will be very helpful to you and to your friends. So share the link as well to friends and families, and then also like this video. If you have any comments on this video, please write it in the comment section. We want to have your comment and your feedback. This will help us, to grow from strength to strength. So this series is known as Emotions Under Control, as I've said already. But this first series, we're going to look at the emotional management, or managing our emotion. Now, I'm sure you have had episode in your life where you acted or reacted to certain situations. You said something, and when you went back to think about what you said, or when you went back to think about what you did, you wish you did not say what you said, or you did not act the way you acted. You would have done something perhaps better or something more reasonable than what you did or what you said. That is to say, you regretted your action or you regretted what you said. This is why managing our emotion is very important. That will help us to know how to react or how to respond to emotions. And so we need to know and understand the situation around us. This is why we are looking at this topic. We are addressing this topic to help us grow. First and foremost, we need to know and understand that emotions are part of us. They are normal part of every human being. And so when you feel so anxious, when you feel excited or happy, when you feel sad, when you feel nervous, when you feel angry, it is not a sign of weakness. Yes, but it is part of us. It is part of our nature. But we need to control these things. We need to manage them. If we do not, then they can become weaknesses that will live with us forever. And so we need to know and understand these things. First and foremost, what must we know? What we must know is that knowing or controlling or managing our emotion is not just about ignoring the emotion. It's not just about letting the emotion pass. Controlling emotion or managing emotion means we need to be aware of what is happening to us. We need to understand, and we need to direct this emotion in such a way that it will be productive. Another thing that we need to know and understand is that we cannot control the things around us. We do not have the power to control all the things around us, but we have the power, we have the capability to control the things that go on within us. And many of these, or part of these, is our emotion. We have the power, we have what it takes to put our emotions under control. And so those that are external, we may not have the power to control, but that which is internal, yes, we have what it takes to control it. And so if we learn how to control these emotions, then we can respond to the emotion instead of reacting to the emotion. What is the difference? When someone reacts to an emotion, what it means is that he acts without thinking about what to do. So the response is simultaneous, or there is instant, without thinking about what to do. And that is why many times we say things without thinking about it and we regret. And so responding then is thinking about what to say, thinking about what to do. You are conscious of what you are saying or conscious of what you are doing. You are aware of what is coming out of your mouth, whatever you are saying or whatever you are doing. That is the difference. We must get to that point of controlling, of responding to a stimulus and not reacting. Else we'll just be reacting because we are angry, because we are happy, because we are anxious, because we are sad. Though we just be reacting without understanding what is happening. But we need to get to that point where we respond instead of reacting. So one will be asking, what are emotions? In fact, emotions are complex physiological and psychological responses to stimulus. So that complex physiological or psychological response to stimulus is said to be emotion. Now I'm sure that may be too big, but to bring it down, it means that the way we physically react to something, or the way our body reacts to something, or the way we personally react to something, that something is what we call stimulus. That stimulus can be anything. It can be a trigger. It could be something that is coming out from the outside to us. Usually that is what it is. So there is a trigger, and that trigger is what we react to. So our emotion is within, the trigger is outside, and we respond to it. It could be rain. When it's raining, our reaction physiologically or psychologically is different. It could be music. That music could be a trigger. It can trigger you to be happy or to be sad. It could be a slap. That is a trigger. It could be a good news or a bad news. That is a trigger. So our response, be it physical, be it psychological, to this stimulus is what is called emotion. And so, as I have said, emotions are internal. We experience emotions within ourselves. But as we do that, there is always an outward expression of emotion. And that is how come we are able to know what is going on within a person. So even though it is internal, the external expression helps us to know the kind of emotion one is feeling within. And so, having said this, we need to understand the three things that are involved in emotions. Now, emotions has three things that are involved. First is the subjective feeling. Now, what do I mean by subjective feeling? This is to say the personal reaction to stimulus, how individuals or persons react to stimulus. And that is to say that when there's a particular stimulus, every person in there will react differently to the stimulus. So it may be raining. My reaction personally will be different from another person's reaction. And that reaction is what is called a subjective feeling. So there is that subjective feeling. We cannot have all people reacting the same emotionally. No. And then two, there is that physiological response. Now, physiological response is to say how the body reacts to the stimulus. Now, this is to say that the way our heart beats, the rate beat of our heart, Number two is the physiological response. Now, physiological response is to mean that how the body reacts to the stimulus. So this also helps us to know the kind of emotion or the type of emotion a person is feeling. And so, for example, when someone is happy or someone is sad or someone is angry, we can see that either from the heartbeat. So the heart may be beating very fast. Some may be sweating. That is a physiological response to the stimulus. Then some could also have, let's say, the voice could be very high, some could be very low, All these ones give indication to a physiological response to stimulus. Number three thing that is involved is the behavioral expression. Now, after we know the personal feeling to a stimulus, physiological expression to a stimulus, the third one is the behavioral expression. Now, that is to say that how the person translates what is within him outside. And so, it could be the facial expression. It could be a smile. A smile will tell simply that, well, this person is happy, and so he gives a smile. It could be a frown. A frown could tell us that this person is not happy with something, is angry. Another could be the tone of the language or the tone, So you could have a high tone or a low tone. So this goes with the behavioral expression, which is a little bit different from the physiological expression. So there are a lot of them, but these are just examples we are looking at. So many things can give an indication what kind of emotion one is, or is feeling within him. And in summary, we can say that emotion is what the mind thinks, or how the mind and the body react to what we think, what we experience, or what we encounter in the world. And so that is what it is. So the mind is thinking of what is happening. How does the mind react to this? What does the mind think about what has been said, what we have experienced in the world? There's a gunshot. That which we experience in the reaction, the mind's reaction, the body's reaction, the person's reaction to these is said to be emotion. And we have this as a normal thing. Every human being has this. But we need to understand something deeper. And so, dear friends, having understood the meaning of emotion, that it is something internal, it is our reaction to stimulus, how then do we manage it? Now, to manage our emotions, like I've said at the beginning, is not ignoring the emotion. It's not about pretending to be happy all the time. Or it is not about saying, well, I don't care, I am okay, when you are not okay. No, management of emotion is not a matter of pretending. To manage emotion involves three things. Three very important points. One, awareness of the emotion. One must be able to know what he or she is feeling and why. Know what you are feeling and why. What am I feeling? Why am I feeling this? That is the first stage of managing an emotion. One must be able to pinpoint and identify the emotion. This is the emotion. Why am I feeling what I'm feeling? Why am I happy? Why am I sad? Why am I angry? Why am I anxious? Okay, so one must know exactly what it is and then why I am feeling that. Number two is regulation. Aware of the emotion, knowing what the emotion is and why you are feeling what you are feeling, you have to have a strong handling techniques to handle the emotion. One must handle the emotion in a healthy way. So that is regulation. To regulate, to handle that emotion in a way that is healthy, in a way that does not harm me and does not harm another person. And that is what we call regulation. One, being aware of the emotion, knowing what it is and why. Number two, having techniques to regulate the emotion in such a way that it is healthy, does not harm you, does not harm anybody. Number three is direction. Direction. Now, direction will mean that channeling your feeling into action that align with your values. Every one of us have values. If you're a Christian, if you're a Catholic, we have good values. Value for respect. You have a value like, respecting people, love peace, you want justice, you want fairness, These are the values that you have, the values that you stand for. To stand for goodness, to respect people, value, to respect life. Now, when you are feeling any emotion, you can be torn apart. And so if you're not aware and if you cannot regulate, it will be difficult for you to direct that emotion. But having done the two, directing it becomes very easy, especially if you have values. So when you have values, you channel that emotion to align with your value. That I am a peaceful person. Therefore, this emotion must not distract that value I have for peace. So you must know how to manage that emotion so that you are still seen as a peaceful person. And this is how it is done. So controlling the emotion. When we do this, it helps to brighten our relationship, to build good relationship with people, to have good, cordial relationship with people. And this is very important. Else you break friendship. Else you destroy your marriage. Else you destroy the trust that people have for you. Especially if people have respect for you and your personality. If you are not able to handle your emotion, you can destroy others. And so this is what we want to learn today in this episode. What emotions are. They are within. But the factors that bring out this emotion are without. These are stimulus. And when stimulus trigger the emotion in there, we react. But when we react to this, we must know how to manage. First, awareness. 2, to regulate. And then 3, channel it to align with the values that you have. So dear friends, in this week, I want to give you a challenge. This week, write down whatever emotion that you feel. If you feel happy, sad, anxious, depressed, write them down. Now, this process is to help us be aware of the emotions that come to us each day. So when we do that for a while, we will then be able to identify the emotions, what caused that emotion, and why we are feeling the emotion. Then as we proceed in this series, we will know what to do or how to manage these things. But first, let us be aware. Write this exercise down. Do it as you whenever you feel anything, any emotion, try to name it, try to identify it, and write it down. It will help you in managing or controlling your emotion. Then after that, in the next episode, we shall look at emotional triggers, so that we can identify whatever triggers our emotion, so that whenever the triggers are around, we know that this is something that will trigger this emotion in me, and that we avoid it or we are able to put them under control. My dear friends, thank you for watching this episode, Emotional Management. We have just started the series for emotions under control. Share this video with friends and loved ones. Tell them about Father January. And I want you to come back again here to watch very more educational, catechetical, videos that will help us to grow physically and spiritually. May God help us that we may put these emotions under control, that we may have a very good relationship with God and with our neighbor. May God bless you. The Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Stay blessed, peace, and joy.
Arise, Catholic faithful, rejoice and renew. Legacy of Hope.
Arise, Catholic faithful, rejoice and renew. My dear friends, do you know that the hope of every country, the hope of every community depends on children? Children are a gift from God. Children are signs of hope for the future. Healthy children are security that there will be continuity from one generation to another. And that is why children must be a priority in every community. And that is why the Catholic Archdiocese of Accra see it very important to give hope to sick children. Children whose parents do not have what it takes to send them to the expensive hospital to give them medical care. Such children are crying for help. Such children are in pain. Such children are crying for healing. Such children are praying to God. And thank God He has blessed you and me to have life and to have strength. The little we can do to support these children is to give them hope, to give them a place, an edifice like a hospital where they can run to for physical healing. Beloved, support the Legacy of Hope project, the pediatric childhood cancer specialist hospital being built by the Catholic Archdiocese of Accra. Your contribution will go a long way to put smiles on the faces of these children. Those children who are crying and praying to God for healing. Your little contribution can give hope, not only to the church, not only to our nation, but also hope for the world. My dear friends, now our project has come up. The building, the structure is up. But we need to furnish the wards. We need medical equipment. We need medicine. We need a lot of things so that the hospital can be operational. And so we call on individuals. We call on society. We call on families. We call on groups. We call on associations. We call on NGOs. Come to the aid of the Catholic Archdiocese of Accra. Help us to furnish these wards of the hospital so that it can be operational to start healing the sick children, to give them good health, that they can be strong, they can be healthy to continue that which we have started. And so, let us not fold our hands and watch this project die. Let us not fold our hands or sit on the fence. Let us all come on board and give our little contribution as we can. Let us invite people who can help us see the completion of this project, the Legacy of Hope project. Beloved, if you are already a contributor, talk to other people. Tell other people about this project. If you are yet to come on board, your little contribution every month, every week, every day. If you are a new contributor, your contribution every day, every week, every month will go a long way to see the completion of this project. Let us do the little we can to save our children. Let us do the little we can to give hope to these suffering children. They need you and they need me. Let us use that which God has blessed us with to bless these children for the sake of the future of our church, for the sake of the future of our nation. Take the numbers of the Archdiocese and the project. You can donate to these bank accounts. You can contact the people in charge, the committee in charge, and then see what you can do to help in the completion of this project. May God bless you for your intention to donate. Arise, Catholic faithful, rejoice and renew.
Legacy of Hope. Arise, Catholic faithful, rejoice and renew.